Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to study about the SQL. Okay, so we are going to study about how to create a database and the table and some other concepts. Okay, so let's get started. So first is how to create a database. So if you want to query the data from the database, first you need to have data in the database, right? So for that, if you want to create a database, then you need to create it like create database and the name of the database that you want to create. Okay, so how you can create it? So the create database statement is used to create a new SQL database to store the data. Okay, so let's create one simple database where we can store the data. Okay, so first we can use create, then database name, database, and then the name of the database. So let's use the name of the database as test. Okay, now if I run this query, it will create a database known as test. So as you can see, it has created the test database here. Okay, so this is how you create a database. So the next is types of data types. That means if you want to create a table, then you need to have some data types, right? So in case of Python, you have different data types like integer, then float, etc., right? So in a similar way, we have string data types, then we have numeric data types, and then we have some data types. Okay, so let's have a look on the different types of data types. So first one is character. That means a fixed length of string can contain letter, number, and special characters. Okay, so the size parameter specifies the column length in characters can be from 0 to 255. So the default is 1 in case of character. Where char is, it's a variable length, and it can be from 0 to 65 535. Okay, so this is the length of data or the characters you can store in where char. Then binary of size equal to char but stores in binary byte strings. Okay, so here also default is 1. Then where variable binary is also equal to where char but stores in binary byte strings. Okay, so the size parameter specifies the maximum column length in bytes. Then there is tiny block, then tiny text, then there is text. So we use text and where char most of the times to store a string data type. So holds a string with maximum length of 65 535 bytes. Okay, so this was all about the string data types. Next is numeric data types. So there is bit, that is a bit value, the number of bits per value specified in size. The size parameter can hold the value from 1 to 64 and the default size is 1. Okay, then there is tiny int which can store up to 0 to 255. Then there is boolean. So 0 is considered as false and non-zero is considered as true. That means 1 is considered as true. Then other one is boolean, so equal to, which is equal to bool. Then there is small int whose size is to the signed range is from minus 32,768 to 32,767. Okay, and unsigned range is from 0 to 65 535. Okay, then medium int, the size varies, and then int, which we use, int or integer we use. Okay, so medium integer signed from range from, so this is the range, I don't want to read this, and the unsigned range is this. Okay, and integer is equal to the int. So the next is date and time data types. So basically there is date, which can be a format year, month, and date. Then there is date time, which is date and time combination. So the format is year, month, date, then hour, minutes, and seconds. Okay, and timestamp is nothing but it is also the same format of date time, but it includes the time zone. It includes, as you can see, date, year, month, and date, then hour, minutes, and second, and this is UTC. Okay, so automatic initialization updating of the current date and time can be specified using default current timestamp. Okay, so you can use default current timestamp for automatic updation. Okay, then next is time. So the format is hour, minutes, and seconds. The supported range is from minus 838 59 to 838 59 59. Okay, so this was all about the data types which you can use in MySQL. So the next is create table. Okay, so if you first you need to create a database, then after that you need to create a table in which you store the data. Okay, in the form of relations. So create table statement is used to create a new table in a database. So the syntax goes like this: create, then table, the name of the table, then column, then data type, whichever you want to specify, then column 2, then data type, column 3, and data type. Okay, So this is how you create a table. So let's look into how to create a table. So now we created a database here. Now let's create a table. So create table, that is, let's create a table sample. Let's execute this. Create table sample. Okay, you need to okay, we need to select the database first. Use test. So if I run this, and if I run this, then it will run. Okay, so it is saying a table must have at least one visible column. So let's specify a column here. So as you can see, let's create one name ID column which is of type int. Then let's create a name column which is of type varchar. It's 255 size. And let's create this salary, it is int. Okay, and let's make id as primary key. Why it is giving error here? Okay, I did not specify. So now if I create this table, it will create the table with the columns id, name and salary. Okay, so let's create this. Yeah, now the table has executed. Now if I refresh this, you can see tables, and then in table you have a sample table, and in sample table if I extend this, we have id, name and salary. Okay, now if I want to look into the data, what you can do is select star from sample. Okay, now if I run this, we will get all the data, that is id, name and salary. Okay, but as you can see, the table is empty here. So if you want to insert some data here, so let's insert some data here. You can use insert. Okay, let's have a look whether I have written. Yeah, so you can use insert statement to fill the data in the database. So as you can see, our data, like the table is empty, right? So we can use insert into statement. So how to insert the values? So syntax goes like this in two ways. Specify both the column names and the values for the first type, that is insert into table name, then column names and values, whatever value you want to specify. And if you're adding values for all the columns of the table, you do not need to specify the column names in the SQL query. That means if you are adding for all the values, you did not specify the column, but you need to write it in a proper order. Okay, so as you can see here, we did not specify the column names, we are just specifying insert into table name and then the values. Okay, so let's try to understand this. So insert into sample, then we need to write the names, that is id, name and salary, right? So then comes the values. So let the id be 1 and name be something like John, and then salary be like 10,000. Okay, something like that. Now if I run this, it will execute successfully. And if I run again this, select star from sample, as you can see, id is 1, name is John and salary is 1,000. Okay, so now what we will do is we will see the second insert statement where we need not specify the column name. Okay, so insert into sample, let's remove this, and values 1, the name, the id will change to 2, and the John will replace it with Batman, and salary is 10 extra. Okay, now if I run this, it will still execute. Okay, and if I query the data, then we'll get id as 2, Batman, and then like 1 lakh, right? 1 lakh, right? Yeah. So here I did not specify the id, name and salary, but if I change the order of the column, then it will throw an error. Like if I, okay, let's replace the name at first position, because the two are integer type, so it may take it. Okay, now if you see, I have replaced the order of columns. That means first is id, then next is name, and last is salary. But first I have given the name here. Okay, so if I run this, it won't take. See, it won't take. But if you specify the id, name, and salary in the format you want to give, then it will take. That is, first is name, then there is id, and then there is salary, right? So let's take id as 3 and let the name be something like man. Okay, see, now it executed irrespective of the order, but since you gave the column names in order, it will execute. Now if I run this, it will still show the data with the updated data. Okay, so the id is 3, the name is man, and salary is same. Okay, so this is how insert statement works, guys. Like if you want to insert the data in the table, you can insert it, okay, using the insert statement. So the next is alter table. Okay, so let's look into the explanation. So if you want to add a new column to the existing table, then you can use alter table, then table name, and then column name and the data type. Okay, so let's alter table sample, and add column. So I need to write, okay, alter table and table name, then add, just add. Okay, add what we want to add. So let's add age, and then we will give the int. Okay, now if I run this, we will have one more column, that is age, which is of type integer. Okay, so as you can see, there are null values since there are no values. Okay, now if I want to update it, now I need to specify the age also. Okay, so age, let's give 25. Okay, so now if I run this, duplicate entry for 3 sample primary. Okay, yeah, so as you can see, I have initialized primary key id. Now it is not taking the 3, that means the primary key needs to be unique. Okay, so let's write it 4, let's execute. Now it executed, and next we will run the data. So as you can see, we have 1 2 3 for id, the name is man. Here name is duplicate, as you can see the duplicate, but if I give name is equal to unique, then it won't take the name as man itself. Okay, so and age is 25. So this is how the alter table works, guys. Okay, so hope you understood this. So the next is drop table. Okay, so if you want to drop the table, you can use the syntax drop and table name. Okay, so let's drop the table, drop table sample. Okay, so if I run this everything will go, that is sample will vanish. As you can see, the test database is there, but tables we don't have anything here. Okay, this is how you drop the table. And the last one is drop the database. So in a similar way, drop database and the database name. Okay, so drop database, that is test. So if I drop this, the database will vanish. Okay, so this was all about today, guys. We learned about how to create a table or create a database, and then we created a table, sample table, then we inserted some data, random dummy data, and then we drop the table and we drop the database. Okay, so this was all about today, guys. Hope you learned something and understood something. So if you like this video, do hit the subscribe button. Until then, take care. Bye bye.